What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Shelty. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Kimo. Game number 4 of this best of 5 for the losers finals of the Divine Intervention Tournament Championship. For those of you who are wondering what the losers finals means, it means the winner of this goes on to the grand finals. The loser of this comes third in the tournament. So that's how that works. That's Kimo now scouting out with that Skraling already. We see the Oracle scouts moving around. Both players going to be questioning what's happening on this map. Very, very hard to kick these things off. We do see an Orc over here, so they already know there's a decent amount of hunt somewhere. But a very small amount of hunt in their main base to kick this game off does mean they have to very, how do I say it? Not viciously, but like emphatically scout. They need to get the scouting in. They need to figure out exactly what's on the map and what they're going to do with it. As Skraling going to be finding some Aurochs over here and seeing how things are going to go. We do have a question in the chat. Oranos favored here. No, I believe that for the most part, the Loki versus Oranos matchup is relatively equal. Some maps are better for Loki, some maps are better for Oranos, but relatively equal. You can make a case that it might be slightly Loki favored some of the... Oh, you can make it a case that it's slightly Loki favored some of the time, slightly Oranos favored some of the time, which makes it equal. So we'll see how the game goes. I'm excited to see this one. Shelty, Oranos is one of the gods he is very, very good at. Obviously, he's good at every single god, but this is one of the gods he's very, very good at, and I haven't seen much Kimo Loki at all. That being said, let's be absolutely real. Loki is a pretty easy god to get the hang of. I'm not throwing shade to Loki mains. Getting to a super high level with Loki is challenging. There's lots of problems, lots of matchups that give Loki challenges. But when the matchup doesn't give Loki a challenge, the matchup becomes very simple. Or the god becomes very simple to play. Alrighty. Well, let's see what's going to happen here as Shelty now moving up onto this position. Now, we have seen Loki go for Heimdall rushes quite a bit in these sorts of situations as well, which has gotten quite a few... Well, it's gotten one win. One win and one loss, I believe, is the Loki Heimdall rush versus Oranos. I believe Kimo was on the receiving end of one of those and managed to defend it, whereas I think it was Grass versus Killuminati in the very early stages of the tournament, where Killuminati actually managed to get a win with the Heimdall rush. So definitely another option there, which kind of shakes up the dynamic of the meta of this matchup, which is generally the Loki player goes Forseti and makes her Hall of Fame's Herser. There's a temple coming up here for Shelty. He's on the chickens over here and enjoying these Aurochs, as it does look like it's a double hunt spawn for both players. Both players getting a whole bunch of Aurochs on both corners or both sides of the map. I think unfortunately for Kimo, or fortunately, he's picked one side where Shelty's picked. So if Shelty wants, he can put military buildings over here and put pressure onto the hunt very, very early. But we'll see what's going to happen here. Prometheus on the way, 4:30 advance time. No surprises there. I imagine we're going to see Shelty go for double military barracks. Double military barracks here. Why? Because Terma are useless in this matchup unless your opponent makes throwing axemen. So opening double military barracks and reacting to if you see throwing axemen is the right play. So you want to open double military barracks and try and match up against those Herser as well as you can. As we don't see any surprises from Kimo. He went through Forseti. He picked Forseti. He wants Forseti. We'll see how this game's going to go now. Gold mine wise, let's take a quick look. Ooh. That gold mine's really, really nice for Shelty, but he doesn't know it's there. What is Shelty saying? Let's have a quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shelty knows there's 5 gold mines. He knows there's another gold mine on his side of the map. And he knows it's got to be fairly back. Because he sees 2 side gold mines and 1 back. You can kind of make those guesses. And the only black space on the map is over here or over here. So he's going to have to know there's another gold mine there. We'll see if he ever finds it or not, though. Upgrades here for Shelty. No upgrades for Shelty. Upgrades for Kimo. He does get an early pickaxe. Normally we don't see that. It does slow down. It does slow down Hall of Thanes and certain other things. So we do see the Promethean Offspring coming through. Going to spot the Water Buffalo over here. And I think Shelty needs to have in the back of his mind that this hunt is gone. There's no way he pushes off this hunt. So sending units that way doesn't really matter. Whereas this is where the remainder of the hunt is. So pushing the bottom side of the map here in advance is probably going to be the right way to play to some degrees. We do see some walls coming up already on this position just to defend. He hasn't even finished them. He just put them up there. Interesting decision where that's concerned. Is the unit's going to pull across? We do see the blue crystal shard is here. This is a really good relic for Oranos. You get 5% extra wood gather rate, 5% extra gold gather rate. And there's no overgathering tricks with Oranos. So it's just a pure boost where that's concerned. As Shelty pokes his head in, pulls back, says, all right, not ready to go on that. And the units are going to be pulling away from there and probably moving to the top side of the map as one Oracle gets taken down. Shelty does delete that one to save a little bit of favor where that's concerned. As I think Shelty knows now he's made the decision. He's got to have made the decision. He'll see the villagers migrating to this position. And I'm surprised. I mean, I do have omniscience, but Shelty also knows the map. So he's got to be thinking, where do the villagers go? Where do the villagers go? And does he see them? He does see the villagers going on the minimap. Whether he notices it or not is another question. And the army can just run straight through the main base of Kimo here if he really wants to. He can hit these dwarves here. He can click that shockwave on this position. Wouldn't be a bad idea. But he definitely needs to be stopping any sort of attempt at getting this hunt down the bottom, as we're now seeing units moving down. That good move from Shelty, splitting the army up into 2 different places, hitting this gold, hitting this food. That's a really, really good idea from Shelty. Hall of Thanes, though, has come through without too many problems for Kimo, which is very, very good for him. It means he can start keeping up with the pace of the army of Shelty. And Shelty actually did go for some Terma here. So his army quality a little bit lackluster after all is said and done. And we're also seeing him not move forward onto these Aurochs over here, which is making me feel a little bit nervous for him as the army comes through. There is a troll in place, but I would love to see some sort of a shockwave onto this location, as we are seeing the units now retreating back over here. Shockwave onto this. We do see the shockwave coming down, picking off these villagers on the back as best as he can. This is a lot of very, very important villager kills coming through here, as the troll remaining just needs to get a Valor in. He can take that out very, very simply. Will he get this villager kill or not is the big question. He does manage to do so, as the army just going to move back into its main base here. A throw-in axeman is out, so got to be a little bit careful about that one there. Population differential here, pretty close. Or actually not pretty close. Pretty big advantage there actually for Shelty, as the Hersa retreating back over here, going to be looking for some raids. Meanwhile, in this position, who wins this fight? There's very, very interesting questions here. This is a very weird game with the armies being split up like this, as Shelty is putting some more pressure in over here, as we do see the Hersa coming through. The army's just sitting here. Kimo knows the army's sitting there. It is spied. Terma taking out those throw-in axemen very, very quickly and easily here in the main base. There's not a whole lot of pigs, and this is the hunt that is remaining here. So in a way here, Shelty is going to be keeping Kimo on zero hunt on zero food here very, very shortly. Kimo's going to have to start farming, it would seem, as the army gets pushed back over here. It does look like Kimo manages to defend. The Terma are going to be retreating. This army can now start pushing forward. Potentially, Kimo can push in and try and get his food back over here, which might be a necessity. He does get himself an Iron Hiar as the villagers pushing onto this hunt over here, as the army splitting up a little bit, retreating back. We do see the villagers on this position. Heart of the Titans also coming through for Shelty. Nice and early. It is 20 favor, but it does save him a lot of resources on hero conversion. As the Terma coming in, will snipe down, throw an axeman or two. Kimo not paying attention here. This is big. This is big. Oh, good garrison micro there, though, as the Terma is going to be retreating away, as the army slowly making its way up to this position. Kimo going to be getting up to pop here. Very, very slowly but surely. Pickaxe on the way there for Shelty. He's going to start getting himself some upgrades. The question is always for the Atlantean player in this matchup. Do you get a town center or do you go heroic age for the Stymphalian bird? Which one do you go for? And when do you go for which? Personally, I think you got to get that Stymphalian bird as fast as you can. And if you do have an advantage over your opponent, you can kind of rush Mythic Age to get value out of Vortex to avoid damage from a potential flaming weapons, as this fight right here is going heavily in the favor of what seems to be heavily in the favor of Shelty. He has full population. A Valkyrie spawn is a big help here. Valor coming through as well. This is a beautiful choke point though for those Terma to get massive amounts of damage done, as Kimo is under a lot of pressure here as the Ioniar getting taken out. The Terma pushing forward to try and take down those thrown axemen on the back there. Hersa getting cleaned up. The Hersa retreating back over here as well. Another thrown axeman going down. The gold is finished for Kimo, and Shelty has got an overwhelming advantage here now, ladies and gentlemen. As what can Kimo do? He turns around, takes the fight. Trolls spawn here. Dwarves still idle, as Kimo not paying attention to that in the slightest. He's got 40 population left, and in that moment, Kimo taps out as Shelty levels the series 2-2. Ladies and gentlemen, what a game here from Shelty. He played Kimo like a fiddle. He pushed Kimo back this way, or pulled Kimo this way, pushed in, got a good raid onto these Aurochs, and with Kimo having no food remaining in the main base, there was nothing left to be done here for Kimo. He got dealt a fairly bad hand here, I'd have to say, on this map with that hunt on both sides like that. And the gold here, I think that there would have been, I think the better play would have been go to the bottom hunt first, because his gold mine's over here, so he doesn't have to defend that so easily. Wall this off up here. Nice wall here, nice wall up here like he did. And then once Shelty pushes through onto this hunt, he would have been able to swing back up to the top side of the map. The army wouldn't have been able to raid him anyway. He would have been able to defend this hunt, and he would have been on food, making Hersa, being in a good position. But because he went to the top hunt first, that gave Shelty the roadmap here to a very, very simple 10-minute victory. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.